Alright, so Ocarina of Time was showcased last night, and it's a pretty popular game. A lot of people watch it, a lot of people know what it's all about. It's really, really broken. And this game isn't really different in that sense. It's a bit lopsided in the fact that the game doesn't really start to pick up its pace until you obtain a few items that take roughly half an hour. But after that, the game is blown absolutely wide open and allows for a lot of really interesting routing options that you would never ever see in the original due to some new tricks. So the intro sequence in Link's Little Nightmare isn't any different. So hope you guys enjoy this great sequence.
I love this intro sequence, but it looks really great. I just don't like the way Link rolls in it. In this cutscene in particular.
So one thing you're going to see me doing here is attempting text skips. In this game, if you press B on the first frame, text begins to scroll on a text box. The scrolling is automatically completed for you. Fortunately, oh, I got the big one. Oh, yeah. Man.
So the longer the text box, obviously the more time it saves. And there's a couple of big ones in here.
Yeah, a lot of four-liners, stuff like that.
Getting like every single text box in this intro cutscene compared to not getting a single one is like probably close to 10 seconds of time
I think
saved.
it's 9. I know that you can get a 124 if you get every single text box. The little bit I just did there. If you don't get any, it's about 130.
Every text box is frame perfect, so obviously there's a lot of room for like micro optimizations in this game.
It is also quite frustrating to not hit any for an extended period of time.
It's mostly mashing, but once you've done it enough, there kind of is a rhythm to it, but it's mostly subconscious, I find.
That rhythm is what I rely on. Mashing the B button with one finger or two is just very, very stressful for me. Can't do it for a very long time. So I alternate between A and B, because A, while it doesn't skip text boxes, does advance them. So I do have that small advantage, I guess. That text was alright though. I don't have a timer for reference.
It looks pretty good. I mean, the Deku Tree is the more important text. The Navi text doesn't save quite as much time.
So right here, I'm going to be just backwalking and doing some side hops to get the Fury Sword. It's not any different than in OOT.
Not too much backwalking and side hopping though.
Yeah, not too much. If you were good, unlike me, you'd do some rolls after this crawl space to save a frame or two. But I'm not good. Oh, that's nice. See, if you go too fast there, you're gonna get owned.
Yeah, you started side hopping pretty soon, but that's okay.
I made up for it.
Because I can't deal with the shame. Not actually. Yeah, you got both of the sword text boxes are pretty massive.
So right there I did a backflip after exiting the crawl space, because when you backwalk out of it, you will stutter when the camera begins to transition to normal. And right here will be the first glitch in the run, the triple slash escape. Come on. Oh, please. So, in this game and Majora's Mask 3D, for some reason Grezzo decided that if you slash your sword 3 times and put it away, you pop backwards really fast. And that acts as a really nice substitution for jump slash clipping through acute angles in the original game, which is not possible here. In that case, I was able to clip behind the actor for the guard and the wall, and roll under him the same way you would, in OOT.
That clip is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, 4th try, I believe, is not that bad.
No,
Also,
there's sometimes where it just takes like a minute to even get it once. I think the first time I ever did it, it took like almost an hour. There's just a lot of little things that you have to like kind of be dialed into.
And that trick, it's important to note that I won't be able to, or that I wasn't able to see up to get the angle for it because I don't have an item to use to put away my sword, so I have to use the A button, and the only way to press the A button without talking to the guard is to have the camera pan that way. So, right here, I'm just gonna talk to this owl. Tell him that I don't need to read his garbage again. And then I get to do some backwalking.
DF, can I sign your potato too?
Yeah, I'll sign your potato.
Please? Please?
Dude, I also hate Link's rolls. It makes this game unplayable.
Yeah, literally unplayable.
That's why I'm backwalking right now. Nice L button.
I play this game blindfolded because I hate the way you roll so much.
Yeah.
Actually ruins the entire game.
So, due to a somewhat recent route change in almost every category in this game, I'm going to be grabbing all the chain rupees here. All three. We'll see why later.
Well, actually, like, the rolling animation is probably a whole lot more accurate to how someone would actually roll. I guess
you don't go
just
straight forwards. You kind of roll at an angle. So,
like,
right here, I'm going to be reloading the area for Hyrule Castle to get Malon here. In older routes, you would get caught by the guard, which would advance the day-night cycle faster, but because I got the chain rupees, it doesn't really work as well. And I enter with 0 speed in order to be able to come out the other side ASAP. So, I'm only here to grab a Zelda's Lullaby, if people haven't realized. And in this game, I do need to get the Pocket Egg, or Weird Egg, in order to wake Talon. So movement here doesn't really matter much. Like I said, I reloaded the area instead of talking to the guards, so the day-night cycle is quite lenient.
these guards, I always like to say they're really bad at their job, except for when they want to be really good at their job.
Yeah, that little jump I did there, you can do that in the original as well, but it's not possible during the day. I believe they also fixed the soft lock there if you get caught in midair.
There's a soft lock there.
Yeah, you know, it's
What?
if you get caught in midair and fall down, you soft lock because you can't advance the text box.
I had no idea.
Dude, I got it. Dude, I don't know when it's gonna hatch. I have no reference. Alright, so coming up, I'm gonna be trying to get past the guards. The guards work in a weird way. They can see you even if you're in midair, but they can only catch you if you're on the ground for more than a frame. And so, I'm gonna play these guys safe, but optimally you try to side hop past them. And even if they do see you, you'll do frame perfect side hops to avoid getting caught.
The first guard, no one really knows how he works super well. Sometimes he catches you.
50-50. It either works or it doesn't.
I mean, it may be, but it's bad.
This second set of guards will never catch you, by the way.
Yeah, the second screen of guards, unlike on N64, can literally never catch you with this strat. It's actually impossible. As long as you're side hopping along the wall, the second guard can never catch you.
This is a fantastic pattern.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. I don't think I've seen this before. I have to wait.
You could have made that really fast if you had anticipated it and gone to the left side, but it's always scary to go and do that.
Yeah, going up the left is something I've never actually done.
Yeah, in that case, it would have been better if you had anticipated it. It would have been a pretty good guard, but that was a little abnormal.
So here I'm just going to be talking to Zelda, doing some tech smashing.
Dude, can we get Franker Z in the chat?
No. Franker Z and Mooster Z, please.
Dude, that's someone's Twitch name. Can we get Franker Z in the chat? Like, what? That's so good.
That is a good username.
No, but like, actually, can we?
I have a cutscene I can post.
Please post your dogs. Thank you.
Thank you for dogs.
The dogs are just flying in right now. We got one dog from Phenomical. He says, Franker Z, thank you very much for your generous contribution. We have
Right, so
12 dogs from Crazy Jessie. She says, Franker Z Zreiknar, Franker Z Zreiknar, Franker Z Zreiknar. Thank you very much for your contribution.
So, coming up in a sec, when the camera zooms into Ganondorf, you're going to see some scripted moments with the camera where the amount of tech skips you get don't really matter because you still have to wait for the camera to pan. That happens sometimes during the Master Sword cutscene as well. But those, I think 4 or 5 text boxes don't actually matter. If you get none, you don't save or lose any time.
Yeah, also, sometimes you always get quick text on certain text boxes, no matter what you do. Like, they're not frame perfect. And there's a couple of them towards the beginning of that cutscene.
You guys like cutscenes, because there's going to be a few more until the game gets up. I don't think I mentioned, but this category is Medallion Stones Trials. It's going to be beating all the dungeons of the game and dispelling the barrier in Ganon's castle. You are not allowed to get the medallions and stones through glitches like a RBA and get item manipulation, so you're going to see me enter the blue warps. Yo, is that the Tongue Lake Rock?
Tongue Lake Heck. Something else to note for those uninitiated. Although he has to beat all of the dungeons, basically, and beat the trials, he can do them in any order he wants, which is different than, like, other, you know, if you were doing it casually, obviously. So he has not beaten the Deku Tree yet, even though he's already at Zelda, but he will be going back to complete it later.
Yes.
Sorry for the spoilers.
I will also try my best to not forget the Water Temple.
Dude, spoilers. Now I know there's a water temple and that you're gonna be it.
Dang.
Thanks.
Alright, so I'm just gonna backwalk, get to Kakariko Village. Not much to talk about.
You get the Goron bracelet by being stupid.
So here in Kakariko Village, I'm going to be doing a small trick I like to call DF skip. I'm going to try to get around this fat guy.
Dude, the carpenter
Before
skip
he gets
is like so legit.
I got the... Oh, never mind. I tried to backwalk. I was too greedy. That backwalk probably doesn't even save time.
I don't think it does.
I blame DF. Text boxes. That was good. Alright, so there's gonna be another trick here coming up called the DMT Fest. I'm gonna be trying to do hold the ESS position and get knocked around by a Tektite and try to hold that all the way to the top of the mountain.
This is kind of a technique that you're going to see come up a lot throughout the run. Basically, if you barely hold the control stick, which is known as ESS position, you can maintain momentum while targeting, and getting knocked around by an enemy gives you a lot of speed. So you kind of just conserve that. There's other ways to do it. There's faster ways to do it. But for our purposes, this works pretty good with our current resources at this point in the run.
Fortunately, I failed the angle change to left from right, so I had to walk up the rest of the mountain. So, kind of not visible to most. I'm manipulating my my health here to, you know, die in a sec. Right now, my health is pretty solid. I should be okay.
It's actually a very good video about the uses of VSS in Zelda games by my boy Gymnast86 on the YouTube.
So not much different than Ocarina of Time glitchless right here. Just taking this Deku stick, light this torch, and carry it all the way to the entrance. I believe that lighting that torch in Ocarina of Time just causes a cutscene to play.
Lighting? No, I don't think so.
I think it does.
I think you're thinking of the one in Zora's Domain.
Possibly. So now I'm gonna be going to grab Saria's song. Needed to get the best item in the game.
Yeah, Saria's song is a good item that we will use a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Oh, I didn't take any damage. I tried to, but alright. That's fine.
Dude, the iframes. Oh my goodness. You took like 5 hits.
I know. That's why it was surprising to me. Alright, let's get another cutscene.
Another thing to note is, I don't think we mentioned this, side hopping is like the fastest form of movement, but only if you can pretty much do it perfectly, which is obviously difficult to do in real time. But it's really good up slopes because the speed of a side hop is so fast, and you can reset it so quickly on a slope that it's pretty good.
It's also worth noting that rolling in this game received a pretty big buff, and I believe it's because you don't decelerate as much at the end of it.
I think that's true, yeah. Rolling is a little bit faster, but over a long period of time, that's...
Yeah, you're going to be seeing
noticeable.
a lot less backwalking later in the run compared to what Ocarina of Time would do.
Backwalking is still faster over a longer distance. It just has to be slightly longer.
And of course, linear.
Very linear.
So right here, I'm going to be trying to get back to the entrance, probably without dying.
Probably.
Oh no, my camera screwed me over.
Oh, gee willikers. Cool.
Surprise, that was supposed to happen.
That was RNG. Oh, never mind. Whoa.
Dang.
You're so close. Oh my god, you're good.
I get that. I get that more often than you think.
You're really good at that.
Yeah. For those who don't know, you can delay the owl talking to you by swapping your weapons because the game considers you busy. It's a frame-perfect input each time you want to swap your weapon to remain busy. And in this game, that's 1/30th of a second, so
it's actually
quite hard.
I think it's frame perfect, and then 2 or 3 frames for the Deku stick, but the sword is frame perfect.
Ah, the Deku stick, okay.
Or pulling the Deku stick, I'm sorry, is frame
That's
perfect.
the wrong song.
Oh no! Ah,
Don't
dude,
worry.
I hate it when I do that. Oh, you didn't actually. If you had finished it, if you had played one more note, dude.
Yeah, if I had played one more note, I would have had to watch a like 15-second cutscene, I believe.
That would have been, yeah. I think it's longer than that.
Because Durinia only likes Saria's song. He does not like the lullaby.
But he'll try to dance to lullaby for a hot sec.
So one of the biggest issues with this game is that you are unable to skip this item without just kind of controversial things like a New Game Plus. And this item is the item that allows us to enter Dodongo's cavern and get the bombs. And explosives in Ocarina of Time are kind of like a big key in a dungeon. I got my finger up to split, but I'm not doing a PB attempt.
Dude, I do that too.
So right here I'm going to be grabbing a Deku stick, and this will be used in Dodongo's cavern for a little fight. And I'm just going to be navigating Goron City to the top.
Dude, nice Goron bracelet. Where'd you get it?
I got it from my boy Durinia.
My boy.
That? So right here, I'm not going to miss the boulder to blow up PC because it's not 2015.
Dude, I used to miss that thing all the time, and I have no idea why. Like, how bad were we at this game?
I'm still bad, spoiler alert. So, right there, I'm setting up to do a cutscene skip for the entrance to Dodongo's cavern. Normally when you blow up the wall, a little cutscene plays showing you off the area, but I can leave at the right time, so the cutscene plays during the fade out. I can come back and the cutscene flag is cleared.
Skipping the cutscene doesn't really matter all that much, but the platform cycle is fast.
Yeah, and coming up is going to be my use for the rupees that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to buy this scrub shield, and that's going to be used right away for one of the most finicky tricks in the game, arguably. It was found about a month ago. And yeah, the newest trick in this game. Found about a month ago and saves a minute. If you get it first try.
It's a good trick.
It's a good trick. I need some serious time, unironically. This looks correct. I didn't get the postmodern strats.
Oh, yikes. I need to practice this.
Second try is not too bad. I'm gonna explain that in a second. So, in this game, unlike Majora's Mask, you cannot grab ledges out of backflips, but you can if your shield recoils from a damage source, because it cancels your backflip. But if I was to do that trick by just backflipping and getting hit by the bomb, I would recoil away from the wall because of the backflip. And I don't want that. And so I use a trick called the twisted side hop with the ESS position to mess with my facing position. And that allows me to backflip forwards, which prevents the recoil a bit. But the other part of the trick is that I need the bomb to hit my shield for only one frame, because otherwise I would recoil away. And yeah, shoutouts to the OOT glitchless people for finding that, because that's a pretty huge skip in this game.
Yeah, that was found on OOT before, and then we were like, oh, well, we can do this on 3D. It saves about a minute. It's really good.
So right here is what I like to call the worst room in the game. If I lose my shield here, I can also lose a bunch of time. Looks like these guys are being nice to me. Alright, so coming up, I avoided the geese there. They can sometimes mess with you, and losing your shield here is not fun because I need to grab another one.
You can do a thing called, he just did it right there. It's broken Deku Stick, where basically you can break the tip off the Deku Stick. And then you have this little Deku Stick that does the same damage of a Deku Stick, but cannot be broken. So you basically have infinite Deku Stick for a little bit until you put it away. It's good for this fight.
It's great for this fight because the Deku Stick Jump Slash, however, was nerfed in this game, so it only deals 2 damage. But the slash still does 2 as well. And that's the same damage as a Kokiri Sword Jump Slash, so I'm able to save time by doing slash animations over jump slashes. Also makes the fight a bit more consistent over jump slashing. So, coming up is Slingshot Skip. It's arguably the hardest trick in this dungeon, one of the most finicky things. It takes a lot of practice to get used to, and there's a lot of really difficult jumps, like the diagonal one, but went pretty okay. Power crop stabbing in this game was fixed. It was actually fixed in the English version of Majora's Mask and has not been featured in a 3D Zelda game since. Crop stabs do the same damage as a normal slash.
Yeah, that fire, the Slingshot Skip there, is one of the hardest tricks for beginners. Because it's used in pretty much every route. You pretty much have to do it, or else you're going to lose minutes.
Yeah, while not very useful in the original Ocarina of Time, Slingshot Skip is a big staple in this game. So
yeah,
I like the eyes there because I'm going to be entering the head, but not now. Right now I have to leave. But say goodbye to Dodongo's cavern for now, and I'll come back later.
Stallmaster and Skyward Sword has Power Crouch Step. That's so weird.
So coming up there is the worst rock in the game. Has quite a bad hitbox and likes to own me sometimes.
I don't like that rock. I get owned a lot. It's a bad rock.
So there I attempted a Hess, and unfortunately I did not get it. It saves a bit of time, but I don't want to mess with my bomb count too much. Especially if I don't get a random drop. I'll play a roll. Oh, wow.
These Skulltulas are trash.
Yeah, they were made even worse in this game with bigger hitboxes, and I think they are faster when coming towards you as well.
They have bigger hitboxes, and they move significantly faster when they try to own you.
Yeah, I thought I could climb up high enough to avoid that guy, but that was not the case. Cocoa Jump in Gerudo Valley does not work, but there are other methods to get around. You can, if you have bombs, you can do a Mega Flip damage boost, and if you don't, you can bring a Cocoa and you can walk along a seam beside the little gap where the river is, and if you climb high enough, you can use the Cocoa to fly across. But that is an incredibly stupid trick that I think is featured in Master Quest runs of this game now. So right here I'm just getting the magic. Magic is a staple in this game as well. You don't see it an awful lot in OOT, but it's absolutely mandatory in this game. So this Great Fairy has a couple text boxes that are fairly long. I didn't end up getting a lot of them. and I'm going to be doing a save warp to get back to Link's house. And I also am changing my camera controls, or I guess my aiming controls. I'm inverting the Y-axis because aiming without that inverted is just, no thanks. I want to give a shout out to Ben for using that menu to disable the gyro, and an extra shout out to Jeff or Purple Photon for occasionally using that menu to turn off hold targeting and put on the infinitely inferior version of targeting.
What? Why occasionally?
I think he said he stopped using it.
That's... What? Well, you know what? Gyro turner off thing is good. And you're wrong.
Unfortunately, getting a little unlucky there with the bomb drops. They aren't mandatory, but they do help.
They're definitely nice. With this route, you actually have an extra bomb drop, I guess. You have an extra bomb. Oh man, that looked close.
That looked very spooky.
But you managed it.
I'm not used to that angle right there. There is a trick that I don't really fully understand where you can get a camera angle that allows you to hold down to do that Navi dive, but I wasn't able to get it there, and I had to do a little bit of circle pad shenanigans.
Yeah, you're angled a bit too far to the right.
Navi dive with jump slash only works with the Deku stick, I believe. So I use.
I think it works. I think it works with any item. But it's frame perfect.
Yeah, frame perfect, and I'm able to use the time from Navi to grab some bombs, so it's nice. I'm going to be grabbing Deku Nuts there and an extra Deku Stick for safety. The Deku Nuts will be used for some combat in this run, and you save quite a bit of time. And coming up will be the first secret world of this run. I'm going to be using a triple slash clip to get around that acute corner and skip King Zora.
I love secret worlds.
Me too. Let's ban them.
I much more prefer speedruns.
No. I personally watch much more speedruns without use secret worlds.
Yes.
These runs are real.
Because these runs are real.
Alright, so coming up is the clip into Jabu. One of Grezzo's incredible changes to this game was moving the loading zone for Jabu-Jabu to try to prevent you from being able to clip into it as child, but by doing so, they moved it into a position where it becomes incredibly easy to enter as adult, whereas it's very, very difficult in OOT. Anyone can just take their copy of OOT 3D and walk into Jabu-Jabu as adults. I think some people have done it by accident.
I think it was found very quickly upon this game's release by people finding it by accident.
But because of some changes in this game to jump slashes, like Deku Stick jump slashes, at the start of their animation, they kind of hit above you slightly, so I'm able to recoil and still get the trick.
If the estimate for Spirit Tracks is 5 hours, how long do you think that game is?
So Jabu-Jabu isn't really any different than Ocarina of Time. I'm going to be carrying Rudo to the boomerang switch because it's not possible to skip Rudo.
No, DF, you're wrong. What happened to Jabu? Dude, speaking of that...
Not much happened in Jabu. So far, these bubbles have been very, very nice to me. Never mind.
You know the name. You know their name, right?
The name?
You know what they're called.
The bubbles? Actually, no.
Wait, you don't know their name?
I forgot.
Oh my goodness, they're shaboms.
Shaboms.
Yeah, they're the shabom. Haha. Gonna go wash my mouth. That was so. Be right back. Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back. So obviously you can't roll with Rudo, so I'm going to be doing some backwalks to move faster. But I will not be doing the one in the main room, because I am a wuss. And I don't want to fall down.
Ah! Yeah, that room is like kind of dumb. So, really weird change. In the room with the boomerang, there's only 3 stingers, but on the original game, there's 4. There's a lot of strange changes like that. Like, I think the biggest area where there's weird stuff like that is the royal tomb in the graveyard where you get Sunsong. They moved the keys around in the first room of that area, and also they added a door. Like, there's just
thanks. There's just a door there.
I don't know why they put it there.
I think they put the door in first and then moved the keys, because there used to be a keys on the wall before where the door is.
Above the doorway, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Would you say the keys are in better positions or worse?
Better. They're easier to see. I think they probably did it because they wanted to lock you in the room so that you would like have to find a way out. Because maybe newer players would not figure out that you have to, like, that you can do something there. I don't know. But I don't know. It's weird change.
Alright, so coming up is a mega flip off of the platform to do Big Octo Skip. That skip's fighting a mini-boss to lower a platform. And I'll also be doing a trick where I pull Zelda's letter on the correct frame after jumping on a switch to kind of delay it in a sense, which keeps the door held open.
Will this run incorporate any forward mega flips?
Unfortunately, no.
No? Oh, that's a good trick.
I can also throw the boomerang in a not very precise way to be able to hit that switch from down there. So an interesting change about this game that a lot of people seem to forget about is that you can instantly return the boomerang back to you by pressing the boomerang button. And in this boss, for some reason, if you target the tentacles and instantly return the boomerang back to you, you won't be able to target another tentacle for quite a while. So I won't be using instant return in that case.
It's a really good thing that they allowed us to stream this game on Twitch because it's actually banned.
Yeah, Grezzo1 is not allowed for streaming on Twitch.
There's a game on the... This game was made by a company that Nintendo licensed to port it, basically, and their name is Grezzo. And there's 2 games on Twitch, Grezzo1 and Grezzo2, which are banned from the Twitch directory. And it's this game and Majora's Mask.
So not that great of a Baronet fight, some sloppy stuff, especially in the last cycle, but I'll take it. I'm going to be picking up the heart, because this heart doesn't waste that much time to pick up due to the fact that the loading zone, the warp, still has to kind of become active, and I want it for safety purposes.
Wow.
An interesting thing to note about this game is that due to quick text, you can kind of screw up this Rudo cutscene here. If you get every quick text before you select your option, like Rudo, I want that spiritual stone, she'll start swinging backwards earlier, and I don't really know why. It's very rare, though.
The text in this game can mess up cutscenes a lot because it's so much faster. There's a couple of moments where if you advance the text really fast, NPCs are just like standing around. Specifically, the light medallion cutscene is like, can be really weird. There's moments where you're just like staring at each other and it's like really awkward.
There's quite a lot of staring in this game, actually, when you think about it.
It's better than MM3D, which has the same problem, but if it occurs, the game actually just soft locks.
Yeah, that was a fun month of Majora's Mask 3D 100% runs, where everyone was finding a new soft lock.
Every single
now and then.
day I did
Every
a run.
day.
Every day within the span of a week, I did a run and found a new crash or soft lock every single day.
Or just a general stupid thing.
Yeah.
Ben Stevens gets owned, number 56. So, coming up, I'm going to be getting probably the most broken item in this game, and arguably the most broken one in OT as well. But the bottle is just a little bit more open in OT. For some reason, in this game, the items are not, dimmed or restricted in your items menu. And so, the way Grezzo decided to do that is it takes a frame after you unpause the game to update whether or not you're able to use an item in an area. So if I have Zelda's letter, let's say, which you can use almost anywhere, I believe, and something like bombs in the market, if I swap the two items and then press bombs on the first frame, I think it's the first possible frame you can use an item.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, then Link will pull out a bomb. Which, if you haven't gotten why I just tied that in there, you will in a sec. So another save warp coming up to get back to Link's house. And now is when the game kind of kicks off.
We're getting really good stuff. Oh, you're doing... Wow. Look at this guy.
Yeah, look at this guy and his outdated strats. Alright, so I mentioned earlier that you can do triple slash clip with putting away your item using, or your sword using another item, and that's what I was able to do there. It just makes it a little bit easier because the angle isn't as precise. If I can see up.
He does an A slide to get past the guard there. Basically, what an A slide does is if you roll into a bomb with the same timing as Mega Flip and then kind of flick it down afterwards, you kind of just go underneath stuff for like a hot sec. So you can go under him. And the reason he has to do that instead of just rolling under him is the Kokiri forest map updates a couple times in the run and things change in it. And one of those changes is after you get Zelda's Lullaby, a couple of the NPCs move around and that guy's hitbox actually changes a little bit during that. And so he no longer clips up on the tunnel, so you can't roll under him.
This might be a little close.
For day-night?
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay, so long as you move fast.
So coming up is the glitch I mentioned during the Fur's Wind cutscene, where I'm going to be swapping my letter and Fur's Wind, and that's going to allow me to place Fur's Wind in the market, which you'll see a small use of it in the route coming up, but I'm going to be putting it back there again, and that's going to blow this game wide open. But first I need to grab Din's fire, because you need fire for trials.
Well, then you could do like action swap, but like RBA and stuff.
Alright, this will be fine. A little close.
Also, wait, does the fire or action swap work in this game?
Don't think so, but do not quote me on that.
Oh, I don't think we can even do action swap in that room because the bomb method doesn't work.
I was never fully caught up on all that low percent MST shenanigans. If I was to do a silly MST thing, it would probably be MST no B button. This game is on the 3DS. I'm playing it on the 3DS that came with the Super Mario 3D Land bundle, which I believe is Generation 1. So even though I can't use Fur's Wind here, you'll see me do the same trick to go back.
Going back. So this is where we get to the good stuff.
The good stuff. I'm a fan of my bomb count right now.
Yeah, you really haven't wasted any, and you've been sacrificing a few time saves for some bombs.
Oh. Oh. So in this house, I'm gonna be visiting my friend Skulltula. He's gonna be knocking me around a little bit because I need to die.
He's a good guy. He's our friend. No Doors is done. But there's still presentation stuff to work on.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this section without saying anything, and then I'm gonna explain exactly why it works a little later when I have the time. This is kind of a tight segment.
Here, all right. So I'll give the street talk explanation, right? So,
yeah.
So Link died and he fell in a hole, and so the game gets confused. The game gets really confused, dude. It's like, what am I gonna do? And so then because the game doesn't know what to do. Wow, you got really lucky there. Now he's in. Oh wow. Okay, so he got really lucky. And now he's in Shadow Temple. And so I guess he's gonna get the hover boots now.
I might as well if I'm, just magically in Shadow Temple, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good routing option. I'm kind of making this stuff up as I go,
Yeah.
Dead Hand is... there's something interesting to note about Dead Hand, actually. In this game, Dead Hand doesn't look for what swords you have, it looks for what age you are. So even if I was adult for the... or even if I had the Master Sword, I would not be able to deal more damage to Dead Hand.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's an unfortunate change, because it is kind of important to save time. I have to do a 3-cycle if I... or I'm only able to do a 3-cycle if I perform all jump slashes. Other than the bad spawns, that was actually okay.
Yeah, the 1 cycle on this boss fight doesn't work because his hitbox, or whatever, his hurt box, I don't know. Like it isn't active when he starts running away from you. So yeah, let's not talk about making up routes on the fly. All right, so now he's gonna go into.
Yeah, I want a slingshot upgrade.
Gallery. Oh wow! Now you're here.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the time to explain everything that just happened right now. So, whenever you enter an area in this game sets a value known as FFFF, and that's what Grezzo decided would be the value used to reset the game, because they added a feature to quit the game, as you've seen me use a couple times. And this value, FFFF, if you do the Death Hole glitch, which is also possible in OT, FFFF gets overwritten by the entrance value of the grotto. And when I quit the game while dead, the game is reset using the entrance value of the grotto, which isn't supposed to happen. And because Grezzo is incredibly stupid, attract mode is still set, so every loading zone essentially becomes a wrong warp with an offset of +4, I believe, added to it. It works kind of like the beta quest ROM hack, I guess.
Well, so if you're familiar with the Ocarina of Time beta quest, which is basically a randomized loading zone ROM hack that people play of this game, beta quest was a thing before that, and basically what it is it's what would happen if you entered loading zones with the game adding this cutscene value to every loading zone you enter. And it's exactly the same as it would be on N64, but there's no way to do it on N64 without cheats. However, we have a way to do it. So I was saying stuff about luck in Shadow Temple. None of it's luck. Every loading zone has a place it will take you, and it's consistent, and it's really neat because you can go to a lot of different places. The Hyrule Market, by chance, is kind of a really good spot to do wrong words from, because almost every single loading zone takes you to somewhere important. It's kind of like a hub.
Yeah, I like to call it the Death Hole Wrong Warp Hub on occasion.
It can take you to almost every single adult dungeon in some capacity. It can take you to Ganon's Tower. It can take you to the Master Sword. It can take you to a couple other places. So it's like really good.
Sorry, but if I call FFFF pre-exit, I won't be able to make FFFF puns. So, sorry about that, fam.
Yeah, you can go to the unicorn fountain with it.
Can you get to the Sky Temple?
I think you can get to the Sky Temple too.
I'm actually quite happy with how that child section turned out. I don't think there was anything too major.
No, it's pretty good.
So right here, Sheik's going to be telling us how, or which dungeons to do, and maybe in what order if she's hinting about that, but I'm not listening. I'll do them how I please with this on-the-fly routing.
Yeah, you've gotten really lucky so far with this run. Very lucky.
So coming up is a cutscene that, without cheats, you can't watch in Ocarina of Time. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little self-explanatory. It's just that I never hit a trigger for this.
There it is.
The Master Sword.
There it is.
So, coming up will be basically the only overworld movement sections in the run. Only, like, major ones, I guess. Some more Kakariko backwalking, because I'm sure you guys all liked it the first time. So coming up, I'm going to be using zero speed again to enter loading zones with no amount of speed on the other side, and that's just useful in this run for getting to areas again without having to walk as much. It's a very minor optimization, but it looks quite cool. I also placing Froze Wind in Kakariko from Death Mountain Trail because you're gonna see something pretty interesting as I go to wrap up Dodongo's Cavern.
He's gonna confuse the game some more.
It is possible to die on the switch to keep it held down when coming back. However, I want to play my bomb count a little bit safe. It's not that much slower to just get the block and push it down, especially with the bomb drop that I can get. Yeah, if you use the blue crystal in the staircase room, you'll fly up.
It's the blue diamond glitch.
The blue diamond glitch.
The blue diamond glitch is very useful.
So I don't know if anyone knows this, but the sign in front of Dodongo's Cavern actually says that you're not supposed to feed the Dodongos, and I'm not really sure what they mean by that. So I'm gonna try to feed King Dodongo. Maybe see what happens.
Does it actually say that?
No, I just made that up.
Oh, sorry. I gotta go.
So I hope you enjoyed that bomb, because coming up he's gonna get some Digital for seconds.
Do not feed the doggos. Dude, King Dodongo is so thick. I don't care what other people say.
Alright, so coming up you're going to be seeing me use the restricted items glitch on this blue warp. And
You spooked me.
I spooked myself too. So the wrong warp here works the exact same way as something like Ganondorf does in Ocarina of Time, where you open a door on the correct frame. And the way blue warps work roughly is that they're programmed to take you to an entrance and then, or an area, and then add a cutscene offset to that area to play in a cutscene. So the way that warp works is it brings you to the trail and adds +5. And the cutscene offset of +5 causes the Goron Ruby cutscene to happen. But I did not enter Death Mountain Trail because of my Froze Wind use. And because I was able to return to Kakariko Village from Death Mountain Trail, that loading zone +5 in the entrance list happens to be the second half of the Nocturne cutscene. And that wrong warp right there is arguably one of the most important in like all of Ocarina of Time for stuff like 100%. The only way to really make Ganonless work is to do this wrong warp, because otherwise you will not be able to do the credits warp from Fire Temple. The only other options would be credits warp from Deku Tree or Dodongo's Cavern, but if you do it from there, you won't be able to collect the Ocarina of Time. So that is mandatory.
This used to be the only viable way to get to Shadow Temple earlier than intended, but more ways have been found since. Actually, one within the past 6 months was found that's very interesting. And if we had had that trick, like, a couple years ago, it would have been huge.
My pal Dampe here, he's gonna race me and I'm gonna get the Hookshot. I hope he plays nice because I don't like it when he doesn't. I had a moment the other day where a flame hit me and knocked me back into a door. And I avoided. It's not fun.
Those moments are the worst.
That was the first time it happened to me actually in like 4 years of playing this game.
Wait, for real?
Yep. Only time that's ever happened to me. It was on a good run too. So, as mentioned before, rolling in this game is quite a bit faster than Ocarina of Time, so even though I got hit by 2 flames, I'm gonna get a pretty okay time for OOT standards.
$40 is not bad.
Yeah, I don't know how much the flames waste, but 48 is okay. A very useful side effect of warping to the Nocturne cutscene is that my Fur's Wind is still there. Which means I can go back to it. Which I'm gonna be doing. Press 1 if you like shield flicking to the music when backwalking in this game. I know I do.
I will press 1 many times. There.
Reminder that I have a setup to hit this guy. Got a little tired of missing it. So the Goron Tunic, unlike Ocarina of Time, is actually a very, very viable option in runs. I don't think it's good to skip it at all, just because of how much faster the text is.
The text is very fast. It would probably be a little faster to skip it, but you would like need more hearts. So I don't know.
So as you can probably predict, I'm going to be going to the Fire Temple first. I'm sorry, but hover boots on Y is the better option.
Word. So much better.
So right there, I did the exact same glitch in OT to be able to die on the trigger for the Bolero cutscene, which gives me the song immediately, but I die so I don't have to watch the rest. And it works the same way even though you don't see the camera pan towards Sheik. I'm not really sure why that happens, but it works for me, you know. It's worth noting that in this game, equipping the hover boots can be done in several ways without wasting any frames. They made the hover boots an equipable item along with the iron boots, which I will not be getting in this run if that isn't already obvious. But you can skip that little animation that they added by either equipping hover boots at the same frame as you roll, at the same frame as you open a door, or when you're airborne.
Hover boots are really good in this game.
Yeah, they are very, very useful.
That's why we went to go get them so early.
I actually had a backup strat to get the hover boots at the beginning of the adult section after Hookshot, in case I ran out of bombs, but I'm very happy that that was not a strat that I needed to use. Hovers on X doesn't make you be able to cancel your or your do roll equips easier. You just fat finger and it's like, or not fat finger, overhand, and it works just fine.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
I've done it, like it took me not a very long time at all getting used to overhanding my roll equips. If I fail one, that's just because the inputs are off. Not because I'm uncomfortable and that makes me screw up. So the beginning of Fire Temple, the way I do it is pretty standard. I'm just going to be grabbing the 2 small keys near this big room. It is possible to only have to collect one of the keys, but that requires doing an extremely dumb trick that I don't think anyone actually likes. It saves about 30 seconds, but I will be doing that trick later in the run, because in that instance, it will save over a minute. So I'm going to take this time to explain the hookshot in this game. It's actually quite a bit different along with Majora's Mask 3D, I believe anyway. The hookshot in this game, starts extending from the tip and not from where your hand is like an Ocarina of Time. And that is incredibly broken. You can hookshot things that are much farther away. And make some precise hookshots, like one in Trials for the Golden Gauntlets chest, infinitely easier. And also allows for a glitch that you will see twice in this run, but not for a while. This, by the way, is one of my least favorite rooms in the game.
This room is really annoying. I don't have trouble with this trick, but getting up here is annoying.
Yeah, so, about 3 years ago, there's a trick found in this game called ledge slipping. And by this game, I mean Ocarina of Time. It allows you to clip through ledges that are to your left from your facing position. And if you press L on the first frame, you grab the ledge, and the wall in front of you is at a 90-degree angle. You will clip through. That also happens to work in this game, and fortunately skips one of the worst tricks in this game that I have only ever done once. People like Ben like to brag about how good they were at it.
I was so good at it, dude. It was a really hard trick. I don't think I could do it today if I wanted to.
So all that there was to just skip the boulder maze by getting to the top early. Yeah, and up top, I don't know how it took that long to find the trick, but I'm happy it's in. It does offer a good alternative to some stupid things. So I'm going to set Froze Wind in that room, and that's going to be useful in a few minutes. You'll see why. Whoa. So this firewall, there's a lot of different ways to skip it, and the way I used right there is a Hess. You can just slide through the fire before it passes through, and I was fortunately able to carry it with me all the way to the switch and land right on it. Something I don't think I've ever done before. I want to give shoutouts to Alien Sweetie Toy for giving me a very cool strat for flare dancers, where if you hookshot them and they spawn or they come out close to corners, it will take less time for them to pop back into the fire. Something that I don't think a lot of people know about. I know I sure as hell didn't.
I didn't know about that.
So that's why you saw me standing near the corners strategically.
I had no idea. That's pretty hot. I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah, Fox said something similar about Phantom Ganon, and how if it dies
What?
at the end of the fight, close to the center, you'll save some time during the cutscene.
Really?
Yeah, I want to take a deeper look at that, maybe see if that is actually true, or how significant it is.
I'm not sure, but maybe.
So after getting the hammer, I'm going to be going to fight Volvagia, because you can't kill Volvagia without the hammer, fortunately. So I'm going to be doing another ledge clip to fall into the loading zone for the boss. Volvagia is not a very nice boss. I'm going to be doing a strat where I can damage the Volvagia form that's underneath the ground using bombs, but if it spawns in the hole that I'm using to damage it, it can be very punishing, and I will very likely wait out a flying cycle to play it safe.
Yeah, this is probably one of the hardest bosses in a speedrun of this game.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. It's pretty easy if you have bomb shoes and peanuts, though.
Yeah, it's really easy if you have bomb juice and Deku.
Alright, so right here I'm going to be equipping the Kokiri Tunic in a sec, and that's going to be useful for the Death Hook glitch again, except in this case I'm not going to be using bombs to damage myself. I'm going to be using the heat timer, and that's just a nice little thing you can do to save some bombs every now and then, because bombs are very, very important in this
Oh,
section
you're using the
of
heat
run.
timer? That's cool.
Yeah, I use the heat timer now, after trials as well, because it's a little harder to manage the heat timer here, but luckily I can grab a magic drop while I'm waiting for it to count down. That's why I didn't grab one from the Torch Slug. Yeah, I have to watch the Fire Temple cutscene. There's really no convenient way to skip it at all. But it's not that long. Not a big deal.
Yeah, you would have to wrong warp somewhere in order to skip this cutscene, and pretty much anywhere you can wrong warp to, the cutscene is pretty much just as long as this cutscene. It's not a very long cutscene.
Yeah,
but,
the wrong warp here is not worth it at all because the place where this puts you is just perfect.
And
yeah,
also-
wrong warping to Forest Temple would crash, yes. You cannot use blue orbs to wrong warp to places in this game that do not have a cutscene. And it is funny, the Forest Temple entrance does have a cutscene in this game that Grezzo added, and only to Forest Temple. And it does still crash. I'm not really sure why.
I don't really know how that cutscene works, so like I can't really say.
Yeah, it probably works a little differently.
Grezzo added a lot of things to this game, but like they kind of just like tacked it on, and it doesn't really follow the same format.
Oh, that was early. I really did think that was gonna work, but I guess not. I haven't gotten early.
Yeah, that was a little bit early.
Oh.
I love it's just a silent death. You're just so peaceful.
So that death hole is used with the Fur's Wind Warp and Fire Temple, and that offset allows me to go to Forest Temple. But there isn't really a way to leave Death Hole other than quitting your game, so what I did there was just set up a death. And you can enjoy the scenery. It's quite nice as I plummet to my doom.
Very, very dark.
And that's gonna bring me to Forest Temple. With a cutscene from a file load that you aren't really supposed to ever see, like that. Yeah, as Jeff mentions, this is probably the hardest dungeon in the run. There are several, well, I guess, frame-perfect tricks that can make you lose minutes.
Yeah, this dungeon is actually pretty difficult.
In all dungeons, you only do that first half of it, and it's quite easy. But
less than the first half.
Yeah, way less. I don't really know what that cutscene was for. They just kind of added it, and then they didn't add another cutscene.
I think the cutscene's there so that you can see the key at the top of the room.
I think that would make sense. This guy is not playing that nice. Because of a lack of power crowd stabbing, I need to use combinations of slashes and jump slashes when fighting these guys. They take 5 slash hits, which means they have 10 HP. An unfortunate muscle memory error right there. I forgot to remember that Hookshot is not on my X button. So there goes a bomb. But 10 here is just fine. It's actually more than fine.
So there's like a really fast strat for. Are you going for the fast strat?
Oh yeah, you bet I am. It's something I've practiced, but I've had not very much luck with today and yesterday.
It's a hard strat, but you can basically get some quick stuns on the second phase of the fight. But there's nothing you can do to speed up the first half.
Other than hit him as soon as possible. I know a couple people will ask, no, there's no boss key skip from the bow room of this game. So I will be getting the bow afterwards. Oh! Oh boy.
It was. You got a little bit there.
So
Oh.
I was able to do the stun twice. That fight was unfortunately not the best. Especially since, as you'll see, I got the attack where he kind of spins at you, that I like to call the F flip. I think he only does that attack when he has one, like, slash hit left.
Yeah, he does. So you kind of. That was just a little unfortunate.
I thought I could make that jump slash, but I guess not. But sometimes you can land a jump slash, a slash, and a jump slash again, but not a huge deal. Spoiler, I got it.
Gee, thanks.
So that right there is not a wrong warp, it's just a cutscene skip, but that one saves quite a bit of time, so it's very, very important to go for it. And now comes the hardest room in the game. I know I joke about rooms that I don't like, but the only reason I don't absolutely hate the room coming up is because it looks cool if you do it well.
This room is difficult, yeah. It's a good room, though. But it's hard. So there's a frame perfect trick right here where basically you can open this door on the frame that you get hit by the bomb. Something weird is going to happen.
Buffering this game, as you can see, is not that great.
It's not good at all. It's kind of terrible.
Yeah, it's my least favorite trick in this game. I buffer.
Okay.
Okay, so that was kind of terrible, but I did end up getting it, so that's fine by me. I'm going to take the time to explain that trick and the hookshot jump in a second. So, hookshot jumps in both games happen because you use a item that plays an animation, that cancels your hookshot the frame it touches something, and that allows your momentum to be preserved, but the hookshot canceled, so you kind of just fly up vertically. People are probably familiar with the trick in Dodongo's cavern to get up to the bombs, and the animation used there is a death. And in this game, you have the hover boots, so you're able to play an animation whenever you want. And that allows you to hookshot jump like that. And the Din's Fire trick just works because you're able to open a door, like after getting cancelled by that cutscene item. Because for some reason, Din's Fire allows you to take damage during the first half of it if you do a quick spin before using it. And the key skip happens because I jumped into the well to reload the room. I believe it does something funky with the block room, where it causes some things to be screwed up, and that allows me to not use up my key when I open the door, which saves about an extra 10-15 seconds over getting the key in the first room of Forest Temple. So luckily I didn't pull in a Pasher. I want to give shoutouts to my boy Apasher _ for dying to Bostofos on occasion. Love you, Apasher.
Big fan of Apasher. He's a he's a guy, you know.
He's a dude.
I'm the dude.
And who are you?
I'm the dude.
I remembered why I don't do Goron City backwalking right there.
Hey, does anyone here like video games?
Does anyone here like Rick and Morty?
Hey! Anyone here watch Rick and Morty?
Anyone here see that sick episode with Pickle Rick? Who else likes Pickle Rick?
Dude, my crazy uncle.
Dude,
Turned
I
himself
turned
into
myself
a
into a
cucumber.
pickle.
Cucumber Nick.
Oh. Oh, I would like that as well.
So, I have a very important question we need to discuss. Who is the most bangable character in Ocarina of Time?
Darunia.
I knew you were going to say that.
Without a doubt.
I don't think that's the right answer.
I want to give shoutouts to Hamplan for saying a very nice comment about Binny while I was doing that trick, and now I think about that every single time I'm doing it.
What did he say?
He said, "Damn, dude, what the hell? Look at this Binny picture, dude. This picture's hot." So, Deku Tree is the longest dungeon in the game.
Dude, Rob Dog knows, dude. The bomb tea shop.
So, the thing that happened with entering Deku Tree is that I was able to use a hammer slide to go out of bounds and skip the trigger that loads the Deku Tree. And because his mouth is an actor, that actor isn't loaded and I'm just able to pass right through. And I do some hookshot jumps to climb Deku Tree very fast and do the exact same thing I did in Forest Temple where I hit the loading zone for the boss room out of bounds. I have a very nice visual cue using the yellow switch. So Goma here is pretty easy with Master Sword and Magic because you can do spins that do double hits, you can do some very powerful jump attacks. I don't know what kind of a loser would fail Goma in one cycle, but I don't know. Just a thought.
Dang, that trick's hard.
Yeah, I figured I would fail one of the 3 that you have to do. At least once. My PB actually failed that too, fun fact. Good PB. So now I get to go all the way to the top again and do the exact same thing.
So this is MST, so it collects all the medallion stones and beats the trials in Ganon's tower, so there's no percentage. Ocarina of Time does not have a percentage counter, so
Yeah.
what you gonna do? Dude, this trick is...
Alright, bad, but not a disaster, I guess. It is a very precise trick. It's one of the tricks that people often turn away from the game because of. But this cutscene, or this run warp, I should say, is very, very, very useful. I'm able to skip crossing the wasteland and, do an overworld movement to get to Gerudo Valley, because that's slow. Any is a word that represents a number. Alright, so right there I'm attempting to jump up over a seam that doesn't exist in the original Ocarina of Time for some reason, but it is very convenient. I haven't screwed it up that much in a while, so that's unfortunate. But now I can do Spirit Temple. Alright, so I farmed the Armos for bombs. I'd like to fill up my bomb bag just for safety purposes. And And because of the technique hookshot jumping, as mentioned earlier, that you can do anywhere with hover boots, the end of this dungeon is significantly destroyed by hookshot jumping, as you'll see in the staircase room, and another hookshot jump later. I didn't mean to press my L button there, but I didn't trust myself, so I just landed back. But that works the same as all the other BK skips. Just hit the loading zone. Yeah, releasing L when you hookshot jump allows you to see where you're falling. So, along with power crouch stabbing being fixed, and the better hitboxes of enemies in this game, I'm not able to just simply crouch stab Neighboru and avoid taking all damage, unfortunately.
You can actually skip the cutscene for this? You didn't say that, right?
No, I didn't. The cutscene skip does work, but it's much harder and saves less time, so...
Yeah, it's a dumb trick. No one likes it. Spirit Temple's really short, but the bosses are like way too long.
Yeah, the boss takes longer than the rest of the temple, I believe. In this route, anyway. Not really much to talk about Twinrova. It's probably the worst boss in this game. Not because it's hard to fight, but because the first phase is almost entirely random. Positions they move in, when they want to attack, all that stuff. To get a good fight, you just need to get lucky, and that's about it. Just like OOT, I'm going to be using the Hookshot to keep one of them in place while the other is charging up their magic attack. Oh. So sometimes Twinrova can, if it's around one of the edges of the room, it can stand in place and just do another magic attack without going away. And it saves quite a bit of time. I'm surprised I ended up getting one there. You can do a minor optimization during the second phase coming up, where I use the hookshot after it launches a magic attack at me, and it will move to the next platform faster. Unfortunately, due to the removal of power crowd stabbing, I will not be able to beat this boss in one cycle. I believe that requires frame-perfect jump slashes.
You wouldn't even have... It couldn't be jump slashes because they're too slow.
Okay.
It would have to be normal slashes.
Yeah, all dungeons gets the Giant's Knife in a Back in Time file, so you're able to use that for a neat one cycle, but...
Hard, though.
Yeah, hard. So I am just able to finish the boss off in 2 cycles. It is possible to get 4 hits in on the first phase, but that causes Twinrova to go under half health, which I believe is the trigger for it changing up its magic instead of having 3 in a row of the same type. So I only do 3. So coming up after this cutscene, I'm going to be going for another cutscene skip. If I don't get this one, though, I'm not going to be retrying it, because it's not worth it. So with that out of the way, I still have to beat the Shadow Temple, the Water Temple, and Dispel the Barrier. So
Good cutscene. Yep.
because I have Nocturne of Shadow from the wrong orc from Dodongo's cavern, I can just play it and go to Shadow Temple and use Inspire, of course, to enter, because I have it. There are still, of course, tricks to get around, but using bins is a good option here. Yes, Creedy, I did an up left shield turn, but that was an accident. I don't usually grab the ledge there. My jump was just too weak. Thanks, VB. So that Truth Spinner ended up going very well. I believe that's the Truth Spinner skull that has a 44.4% chance of being the right one. Whereas one of the middle one is 22.2 and the other one is 1/3. So I mentioned earlier in the run that the hookshot, you're able to fire it from the tip of the hookshot and not where your hand is. And very, very useful side effect of that is that I'm able to shot through walls if it's at a slightly lower angle than where I'm where my level is. So I can hookshot that chest. So right there I was able to do the gate skip a different way than OOT does it. You're not able to just jump slash through that gate unless you're child. Right, Ben?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Are you able to skip the Shadow Temple gate with a jump slash as child?
Yes, you are. I don't know why it doesn't work as adult, but it does work as child. It's really easy as child. It's like...
Yeah, you can't do it as child in the original, so it's kind of flipped that way.
It's funky. I don't know why it works that way.
I know in some OOT bingos and beta quests, I was doing a weird slide to get through that gate as child. It's not very fun. forwards weird slide. Nope, the water temple will be completed in this run, because I need all the medallions.
Yep, water temple will definitely be happening.
It just happens that there's a very, very convenient way to beat water temple that you're going to be seeing in half an hour. It is possible to skip the what I'm about to burn, using a hookshot clip to the redead, but it's incredibly finicky. I'm not a fan of it.
It's hard.
I didn't trigger burning Kakariko. I wrong warped to the second half of the Nocturne of Shadow cutscene. Skipping that chasm that I am about to do is not required because I have the bow. But I like to do it anyway because it skips a cutscene. So that little void there was just me being a little bit anxious with my roll equips. I should have waited.
Don't get fisted, please.
The bongo fist. I hope I get good bongo RNG.
Yeah. Well, you've had pretty good route RNG, so...
Yeah, my route RNG has been really nice with all these wrong warps. Bringing me exactly where I want it to go. Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay, well, you froze one set, so that's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world.
It's only like a little over a minute, I think.
Probably killed the PB, though.
Oh, are you on peep pace?
Yes.
Dang!
Oopsies on my part. I can't aim. Yeah, bad RNG. I held down. Yeah, Shadow Boss key skip is possible, but very dumb. Good luck going for it.
Yeah, it's dumb because the way it's buffered is slightly different, and it's frame perfect, and I don't like it.
I don't think anyone does.
I really don't.
That's a little unfortunate. I might have been too close, actually. I'm not too sure, though. I buffered a frame early and didn't hit the frame. Yeah, hearts for safety. That's about it. That is actually not that bad, because now I don't have to get magic. I didn't realize if I had gotten the cutscene skip, I would have had to replace for his wind in Bongo's room, and I wouldn't have the magic for Adin's use, I believe. It might be faster to skip the Goron Tunic, but I don't think anyone wants to do that.
It would probably be. Yeah, it's possible, but it's dumb. The trick to skip it's dumb. Then Bolero skip would be dumb, and then all of Fire Temple would be dumb, and then Fire Trial would be dumb.
Don't forget Volvagia.
Yeah, and Volvagia would be dumb. It'd all be dumb. Like, what you gonna do? Dude, good cutscene. This is a good time to read some donations. So, Espion 65536 donates 2 Frankerz's. He says, Frankerz, thank you very much for your generous contribution. Draconif coming in with 5 Mooserz's. He says, Mooserz. Thank you very much, DF, for your generous donation. Really appreciate it. Massive Bros comes in with 2 Frankerz's. He says, Frankerz, PogChamp seems good. Thank you very much for your donation. Potato Smiles with 1 Frankerz. He says, Frankerz, bit of a smaller donation, but every bit counts. I'd like to remind everyone here that their donations of their emotes, every little bit counts. It's, thank you very much for anyone who contributes. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
So yeah, this cutscene is quite long, but it's still longer than in Ocarina of Time, so I'll take it, I guess. Yes, please post Mooserz. Please. There's a very, very hard trick coming up that I would like to get. And Mooserz's, they act as fuel. I need them.
Reminder that we cannot read all donations, but we still appreciate anything that you can spare. So thank you for your Frankerz's and your Mooserz's, your Oh My Dogs. What are the other hot
good
dog
dogs,
emotes?
Brent?
They're good dogs, Brent.
Fun fact about the cutscene coming up where Zelda rides away in the flashback. If you pay attention to the bottom screen, you'll see that I have my child equips again. And that's just a very, very easy visual to see that you do indeed become child in that cutscene. You can even see Kokiri's sword on your B button, all that stuff.
Yeah, can we get an emote tracker for the next Zelda Speedruns marathon, please?
I second that.
I think that's a good.
Metroid Prime 2 echoes for the Nintendo GameCube for ZSR Marathon 2018.
Dude, we might need that for this marathon.
Oh, have I been avoiding your question, DF? Link is fat in this game. That's just the way he is.
How does that make you feel?
You know, I appreciate that he's comfortable with the way his body is.
I agree.
However, if his fatness gets in the way of this upcoming trick, I'm gonna be a little upset.
Ever since I was young, all my friends made fun of me for
So, coming up here is probably the hardest test in the game. It saves roughly 20 seconds if you get it first try and skips a nice cutscene. It's only possible in this game because Grezzo decided to move Ganon's castle closer. I assume it's because they redesigned the Rainbow Bridge, which I hope you guys don't get to see because it doesn't look good.
Who is the hottest Link? This is a great question.
Hold on.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Yo, that looked a little sketch there. That was really good.
My heart skipped probably 3 beats.
That was good.
My fingers were just not into it, you know. I have never gotten that in an attempt.
That was good. Dude, I don't know. Breath of the Wild Link, he's a little too feminine for me. I don't know. I like my boys very masculine. He's got that. Yeah.
Alright, so trials in this game are somewhat similar to OOT's trials. You're gonna see me do a faster strat in Forest Trial to skip or go early on a fan cycle that I fortunately got. There's some trials like Shadow Temple I don't have fire arrows for, so I'm gonna have to do a trick to get to the torch. Ice Trial will have some skips because I don't have the bottle. Fire Temple will have a trick to get across the Fire Trial will have a trick to get across the gap, and all the other ones are pretty standard.
Trials are pretty difficult to like be really optimal with.
Yeah, sorry, but it's an ice trial. I don't see water here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Water Trial is probably like one of the hardest.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if you miss it, you don't have to leave every time.
Really? Is it faster to stay in and wait for them to come back?
I think so. They spawn faster after the first one. But they can only take 3 hits and then they die, so... Don't quote me on that, though. It could be slower.
That's not a hard trick, by the way. Just being a little dumb.
It's not a hard trick, but it's not really like a super consistent one either. This game does not lag often, but
yeah, I was surprised to see the lag right there.
In this trial and in Ice Cavern, it lags a lot. There's a couple of other places where you get a little bit of lag, but those two places are some of the biggest culprits. Well, that was weird.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with the camera there, but
that was
whatever.
Funky.
So far, not too hot, if you catch my meaning. I need my charger, and luckily I prepared it.
Wow. Imagine that.
Yeah, you're not able to use the hammer to hit the switch through the second red ice there, so I need to do a little fast slide around a corner that doesn't work very well. Shoot! DF is right. I forgot the water temple. That's a really bad mistake. I got bad routing RNG.
For real?
Yeah, for real. I forgot the water temple.
Oh my god.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to route it on the fly.
Dude. Don't be me. Don't live that life.
One thing that I will never memorize about this game is where all the magic pots are at the end of the trials.
Yeah. It's really hard to learn all those.
My least favorite trial coming up here. Not fun. IMO.
I think fire trial is very difficult.
Yes, very, very difficult to do quickly. Has a very sketchy trick at the end that I'm not a fan of either, just because it's nerve-wracking.
What do you do for that?
I do a mega flip upper slide.
Okay. Yeah, I do too.
Okay, I had to.
But I agree. I don't like this trick.
I don't think Golden Gauntlet skip works in this game.
No, it doesn't. Not that if it does, it's not the same.
Yeah, your equips are good for Forest first, so.
If it does work, it's not the same, and I don't know how to do it.
Kind of getting good at some sketchy tricks.
That was a little.
I really
fine.
thought that I went early there, or that my angle was bad enough, so I started my sliding early.
A little sketchy, but it works.
Alright, trials become pretty easy from this point on. I need to come up with a better strat for the first room of the next trial. I'm just not really sure how else to improve it. Don't like the current one too much.
The first room?
Yeah, light trial.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I haven't really figured out a good way to do this.
Yeah, you can see how I do it. I made a little bit of a mistake with the shot, but
I think it's a little weird.
I should experiment with using a bomb in some way to maybe kill the keys on the right, you know?
Yeah, that could be good. I don't know, though.
I don't know where it would go if I threw it, or if it would bounce somewhere, like, unfortunate.
But honestly, once you're done with fire trial, it's like so much easier.
Yeah, it's kind of a cakewalk.
If you're looking to get a 3DS, you can get a 2DS, which is actually a very good system for very cheap nowadays. You can get them for like $50 on eBay.
That's quite a deal. I don't know how much the new 2DS XLs go for, but
those
don't look like. Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's not bad either.
Yeah, and you get the added benefit of it being new, like the newer renditions, and you have the closing of the screens. It also looks pretty cool, in my opinion.
You also have the C-stick for home buffering. Haha.
Haha.
Ha ha ha. Might I add? Ha!
How come he don't want me, man?
Dude, you have so many hearts.
Yeah, I know, safety thingy. But I really didn't have to. This magic is not that great.
I think currently you cannot capture 2DS with the soft mod.
The new 3DS came out after the update, I believe. I don't think they have an exploit for that.
The new 2DS, I don't think has an exploit yet. So I don't think you can yet. But I don't actually know enough about that, so. However, there are already
2DS capture boards, right? Those exist, I believe.
They do exist. But I wouldn't buy one.
Yeah, I've had this 3DS since the launch.
They're
I don't
good.
think I'll ever replace it unless I absolutely have to.
And the capture board on them is good too.
Yeah, the loop board is great.
NTR boot hacks. I don't know what that is. We'll talk later. A capture capable 3DS, 2DS is rather expensive. Generally, it will be the cost of the 3DS plus $200 to $300.
I'm gonna go to the water temple now because I apparently forgot to do it.
Wow, stupid, Aaron. Okay, $600 is way too much. It's like twice as much as you should be paying for those things.
I think that's enough time waited. So that's a death hole wrong warp using the Fur's Wind Warp placed in Shadow Temple to get to Morpha. This fight is actually incredibly difficult, not because I have to kill Morpha, but because I have to do 2 frame-perfect bomb Ocarina items tricks. One before the fight and one after, to be able to continue. Because I cannot use my touchscreen items that have Hookshot on it. Ocarina items happens to restore your bottom screen. So an interesting thing to note, if I was to do anything that disables my items on the bottom screen, they would not come back. And in this fight, the relevant things are using my shield, or jump slashing with the A button, or doing quick spins. It is possible to do a jump attack on Morpha using a side hop, but I'd rather not go for that. Very, very risky.
Yeah, it is kind of risky. So it's best just to play safe. It's not even much slower.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
So that right there was not necessary at all. If I am in the Chamber of Sages room, it black screens and I'm just able to go back with Fur's Wind. It's just a little time saver.
Oh, wow, you got that. That's nice.
Yeah, I always go for it.
I never go for it. I'm bad.
So, earlier in this run I mentioned that the Nocturne of Shadow is huge in this route. It's not just gotten to get the Shadow Temple conveniently after beating Spirit. Playing Nocturne and adding the offset +4 that Track Move does in Death Hole has an interesting effect, and you're going to be seeing that in a sec.
Wowee.
And a very nice effect of playing Warp Songs is, well, I think it might only be Bolero that takes you out of Death Hole. Because I think it's the loading zone that brings you out of Tower Collapse that takes you out of Death Hole in this case, right? Not Nocturne?
No,
Because it is Nocturne, okay, because I believe this loading zone works differently, because in Beta Quest, it's not this loading zone that's randomized, it's the one for it.
Yeah. That loading zone is not randomized by choice in Beta Quest.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the way actors are rounded out with their collision, the kiss is not possible.
Yeah, the kiss is literally you can't do it.
Smoochy for Link.
It's actually impossible.
He'll visit Darunia again after killing Ganon. We'll get it there. Oh, MZX shuffles that loading zone. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. That is an intended thing.
So coming up, I'm gonna try to do a trick to keep the Master Sword for the fight. In Ocarina of Time, you would do a super slide, which locks your animation, and in this game, we can't do that. But we have alternate methods or method to do the same thing. And that is done by using Din's Fire as you touch the trigger, which is actually a little trickier than it looks. Very, very old Ocarina of Time strat, but
Pretty tricky.
it is very tricky to get the timing for because it's not the same as a restricted items run order. Slightly later, I feel. This saves probably close to 20 seconds though. You only need to do 3 hits on the first phase of Ganon, rather than 10? Yeah, Link just stands here. He's completely unimpressed by how stupid the Ganon fight looks in this game. It's so bright. Where's the darkness? Where's the fear, the intimidation? So not magical, you know? But of course, because it's a good version of the game, there's virtually no lag, so fast fight.
Doesn't really matter to me, the dark. What's your PB again?
2:16:47.
Okay, so pretty close.
Yeah,
this has been a pretty solid run.
Yeah, one final shout out. Shout outs to Navi, who doesn't know where Ganon's weak point is. Time, by the way.
Wait, what does Navi say there?
She says, Ganon, I have no idea where his weak point is.
Oh my god. I had no idea. That's really not bad at all.
11, I think it was. But that's alright. I should have mentioned that the timing is soon. I just got a little caught up in my stupid Navi joke.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, the 3rd best run I've ever completed of this game.
So yeah, you guys. Oh, now I can be heard on stream.